Yo, what's going on, everyone? This is Austin from Calling Our Shot, and we are back for some player props and spreads in the NBA for Friday, May 28th. Another 3 games on the slate. We got 5 picks coming your way, but first, let's recap yesterday. And it wasn't a great day. I won't hide from you. 2-4, but let's talk about them. We started the night 2-0. Chris Middleton over 19.5 or 20.5 points, cash it. And then the under 226 in the Bucks Heat game, cashes easily. It wasn't even a sweat bet. You didn't even have to worry about it after the first couple minutes of the game. They combined for a solid 197. Let's talk about our losses, and they were brutal. Anthony Davis over 11.5 rebounds plus assists. Brutal. He ends with 11. Misses on the hook. If you took just rebounds straight up, congrats. You got a winner, as he didn't get a single assist. Hard to bet on that. CJ McCollum over 22.5 points. Again, he misses on the hook. Lands on 22 points. What can you do on that? He shot 15 times in the first half for 14 points. Only shot 5 times in the second half. 8 for 20 shooting. You're not going to hit an overhit in that. Devin Booker had a terrible night. Couldn't buy a bucket. 6 for 19. Over 28.5 points. No chance. And Lakers, Blazers, money line parlay. Lakers win, but the Blazers could not. Tough defeat, but we'll move on. I mean, there's not much you can do. It is Friday, so we're going to go into this weekend making some money. We're going to end on a high note. And shout out to all the new subscribers out there. Over 5,500 of you guys. And I know 50% of you guys watching this video aren't subscribed. So if that's one of you, click that subscribe button. Maybe we can hit 5,600 subscribers today. I believe in you. Also, speaking of the community, which this community is the best on the platform, shout out to all our COS All-Stars. Look at this growing list. I mean, I'm going to have to get a scrolling credits wheel one of these days. So maybe we make it tonight if a lot of you join the COS All-Star community. Shout out to our newest 4 All-Stars. 409 North, FM Films, Lashana C, and Levito S. I think I pronounced those right. I appreciate you guys all. If you want to become an all-star, click the first link in the description down below or click the join button on the channel. Costs less than $3 a month, and you get some cool extra perks. Maybe you just use it as a tip jar for us, because Logan, on the MLB portion, on an absolute scorcher. So check out Logan's video after this one. He is, I believe, on an 18-5 stretch over the past 4 days. He's on an absolute heater, so go check out his video. Like I said, we got 3 games on tonight. My New York Knicks taking the Atlanta Hawks, the Nets versus the Celtics, and the Clippers versus the Mavs. We got some picks in each of them. And we're going to start with my New York Knicks, traveling to the A, as Trey Young would say. And we're moving on. We're starting with RJ Barrett, the Maple Mamba. In game 1, or game 2 of this series, actually, we took his over in 5.5 rebounds minus. And now that same line is like minus 142, minus 150. It's a little too juiced for my liking. But we're taking his PRA tonight. And here's why. RJ Barrett over 26.5 PRAs, minus 104. So I know you could put in the comments, but Austin, he didn't play a lot of minutes last game. He didn't hit his shots in the game. I understand where you're coming from. He's 0 for 2 hitting this in the series. But I think we got a good chance today. And I'm calling my shot. That's basically the name of the channel. And you look at it. You look at the numbers. If he played his usual minutes, he'd easily cash this over. You look at game 1, he ended on the hook on the bad side, 26 PRAs, only 32 minutes. In game 2, 23 PRAs in just 26 minutes. So his point per minute, his PRA per minute is pretty good. And I think today we're going to see a lot more minutes for him tonight. And here's why. You've looked at game 1 and game 2. It had great performances from D. Rose, Alec Burks, or Reggie Bullock. All 3 of them, 2 of them have played really well in those games. And tonight, I just don't know. Derrick Rose played a lot of minutes in game 2 and likely will start today. I don't know if his legs are there being as old as he is, as old into his career as he is. Reggie Bullock and Alec Burks, yeah, they're not in MSG anymore. You're in Atlanta, you're on the road. And as we've seen time and time again, role players like that tend to struggle on the road, and I think that will lead to Tom Thibodeau playing his young gun, RJ Barrett, more and more minutes. You look at it prior to game 1 and 2, RJ had cashed this over in all 3 of his games against the Hawks. He had 27, so just barely hitting it, 29 and 42 PRAs. His last 2 games in Atlanta, he scored 26 points in each of them, so maybe he gets up and he's like, all right, I'm going to put on a show in the ATL. Either way, I think we're expecting a big game from RJ Barrett. I'm banking on the talent and the opportunity to kick in. Like I said, I don't expect Reggie Bullock, Alec Burks quickly to go scorched earth again on the road. On a side note, you could take Derrick Rose's points or props. He's been a straight cash cow the past couple weeks, but I think he's exhausted. Like I said, he's played a lot of minutes. I think that's why we see bigger minutes for RJ tonight on the road. If I'm wrong, so be it. I've been wrong before. It wouldn't be the first time. Let's get it done, Maple Mamba. We're locking it in. RJ Barrett over 26.5 PRAs. Moving on to the Nets Celtics game. This is a weird one. I'm taking Blake Griffin over 2.5 assists, sitting at plus value, plus 110. And before you skip to the next pick, you're like, no, heck no, Blake Griffin, he's trashed. You know, he's kind of, I've trashed Blake Griffin in the past before. I'm not the one that says, you know what, you guys should respect Blake Griffin. I really have trashed him on the Pistons, and really, I didn't think he would be that great on the Nets, but he's kind of revitalized his career. Sure, he's only playing 20, 25 minutes a game, but you look at it, he has played with the Brooklyn Nets for 26 games this season, and he's played over 20 minutes in 19 of those games. In those games that he's played over 20 minutes, which you should again see 20 minutes tonight, as he's seen 20 minutes in every single game against the Celtics this year, he's hit this over 2.5 assists in 13 of those 19 games. We're talking 68%. Now, more importantly, he's cashed this over in 6 of his last 8 games. He's had 4 assists each in games 1 and 2, and he had 3 assists all the way back in the late April against this same Celtics team. I anticipate this game to be a little closer. That's what the spread kind of indicates, and I do think the Nets will get the win. But you're talking about an added bonus, Jeff Green, he's out for 10 days. And while I don't necessarily think that correlates to a ton more minutes, maybe those 20 minutes that Mr. Jeff Green plays go straight to Blake Griffin, that won't happen. But maybe we see a couple extra minutes, and that will be a big difference. Like I said, I've been wrong before. I do think Blake Griffin has a good chance. All the numbers and analytics side on this, plus you're getting that plus value. So I do like it. And, it's plus 110 value. I think he's got a good chance to hit it. If he wants to go out and get 1 assist, maybe even 0, that's fine. I can live with it, but I'm taking it. Blake Griffin over 2.5 assists. Moving on to the Mavs versus Clippers, and oh boy, the Clippers, you better win today, or else you guys are going to get clowned all over social media. And I think that starts with Mr. Kawhi Leonard, their star player, their superstar, over 30.5 points. We took this points prop a couple nights ago in this game 2, and it was an easy cash. It was no doubt about it. It was, I believe, 25.5, maybe even 26.5. So it's rightfully so this number has come up, because that 25.5 was disrespectful. But he's coming off a 41-point game against the Mavericks in game 2, and you look at it, 41 points in game 2. He only had 26 in game 1. But last year in the bubble playoffs against this Mavericks team, he had 33, 32, 32, 36, 35, and 29. He's cashed in 6 of their 8 total playoff games against the Mavericks. He's a walking robot. I mean, he's the embodiment of just a robot on the court. I mean, the Mavs don't have anyone that can stop him. Put DFS, Dorian Finney-Smith on him, MavsClippers, whatever you want. This is an absolute must-win. Ty Lue knows that. People will come for his job if they lose this game, even if they get swept, even if they might even lose this series, which is where it's trending. He's going to play him 40-plus minutes, maybe 45 minutes if they have to tonight. Rondo, I think, will play more. I was going to pick his PRA over if possible, because you don't just sit Rondo on the bench. That's idiotic. But you look at it, Kawhi, he's still got some emotions, and there's no way he wants to sit there and watch Marcus Morris, Pat Bev, Reggie Jackson clank it up. Heck no. He's going to take control of the game. We're locking it in. Kawhi Leonard, over 30.5 points. Not thinking twice. He's going to shoot 25 times tonight if he has to. Moving on to the player that's been giving the Clippers a lot of trouble, and that would be Luka Doncic, and we're taking it. Over 47.5 PRAs, minus 111. Riding the hot hand in their back home in Dallas tonight. And, you think about it, the Clippers, you'd think Ty Lue would make some adjustments, but I don't think Ty Lue is all that good of a coach. No disrespect to him. But it's Luka Doncic. He's been an absolute cash cow in this series, and really against the Clippers all in the playoffs, in his whole career, which he's only played against them 8 times like we've talked about. They should make some adjustments mid-game and maybe try to limit Luka's abuse on him. But you look at Luka and his body of work over these 8 games against the Clippers in the playoffs. His PRA lines, 53, 52, 56, 34, which was an injury, 73, 33, 43, 58. So he's cashed in 5 of those 8 games, one of those losses being really he was hampered by injury. Today, I'm betting solely on the talent of Luka Doncic. He's fully healthy. I do like his assist line at 9.5. Seems a little high, and I do think that's because they will double team him some tonight. But I still think he will get his. They run way too many pick and rolls. They could put Kawhi Leonard on him, Paul George on him, but there's so many pick and rolls that they're going to end up with some switches or double teams, and I think he picks and chooses, gets some assists and whatnot against them. Taking the Wonder Boy. Enough talking. We're taking the Wonder Boy. That's what they call him. Luka, over 47.5 PRAs. Moving on into a spread of the game. We only got one spread today, and that's going to be Hawks -4 versus my New York Knicks. I know, I'm picking against my team, but in both games, the Hawks held double-digit leads, and they ended up losing them. And like we talked about earlier, I don't think Derrick Rose, Alec Burks, or Reggie Bullock will have as big performances as we've talked about. You need those big performances. The Knicks have needed those to stay in these 2 games and to ultimately win one of them at home. But unfortunately, they aren't at home anymore. Let's give you some analytics now. Hawks are 23-13 against the spread at home, the best in the NBA, and they're 25-11 straight up on the season at home. You look at the Knicks, they're good against the spread on the road, but they're only 16-20 straight up. So you're asking the team, not only the Knicks to lose, but to somehow cover the 4 points. It's not really hard. I'm fine laying the points. 4 points is not asking for a lot. Trae Young will be fired up after someone spit on him in the fans. which is unacceptable, but that's not why we're talking about it here. He'll make sure his teammates get the ball in the place they need it, and I think the Hawks bench shows up, except for Gallinari. He cannot show up with that haircut. Sorry, man. It pains me to do it, but I'm riding with the Atlanta Hawks, which technically was my hometown team as I grew up outside of Atlanta, to win and cover today. Now, I had a couple over-unders I did look at. The Knicks team total, I considered their first half team total under 52.5. They hadn't hit that in either game this series with 50 and 47. I think they struggle, but not going to make that an official play. Considered the under in the Celtics Nets game at under 226, but I don't love betting unders in a Brooklyn game. And then I considered the Mavs-Clippers over-under. It's 219. It's really sketchy. They obliterated that in game 2, but in game 1 they only had 216. I'm not gonna touch that. We're only gonna do Hawks -4 and not worry about it. Those are my 5 plays of the day. We're talking RJ Barrett. Let's recap. RJ Barrett over 26.5 PRAs. Blake Griffin over 2.5 assists plus 110. Kawhi over 30.5 points. Luka Doncic over 47.5 PRAs. Final one, Hawks -4 versus my New York Knicks. Like I said, I hope you guys have a good day. I have a Friday. Let's have a killer day. If you want to become a COS All-Star, go click that join button on the channel. Go check out Logan's video. I will link it right here. Boom. And he's been killing it. Like I said, he's on an absolute tear. So go show him some love. Go click the like button on his video. Maybe even mine if you really want to. Really appreciate you. If you subscribe, if you are new, this has been Austin. I'll catch you guys again tomorrow. Let's go make some money today. Let's end it. It's Friday. Peace.